Hello adventurers, this is Zexty and welcome to my beginner's guide for pets. In this guide I'll be showing you where you can get pets, the pet album, how to exchange pets, and pet skills, so which skills you'll want to prioritize, how I go about exchanging my pets to get what I want, and yeah, so let's jump right into it. So the first and probably the best way to get pets is from Patrigio. So every day you can refresh Patrigio's shop 20 times. It will just cost you stamina. So I highly encourage doing this. You can get tier 2 through 6 pets from Patrigio, and those pets can be of any kind of pet. So looking at the next way, every now and then, Pearl Abyss, they'll give us events where you can actually get pets. So you can exchange them from different points, you can get them from like a roulette, from a board. So always be on the lookout for pets from events. Another way, and a way that I don't encourage you to use, is by buying them from the Pearl Shop. So you can buy tier 1 pet chests to obtain any one of these pets that are listed right here, and it's at random. So another one that you can buy is this Adventurer's Companion Pack, and it'll give you a tier 3 pet chest. Again, I do not recommend this. This is not a good use of your pearls. There are other things you can be buying, and it's really not that good. So be patient, get them from Patrigio or from these other methods. Another method would be doing Ancient Ruins. So at the bottom right, you can see that you can get the baby Kabua chest. Those baby Kabuas will be tier 1 through 4. The way that I recommend doing it is not through Primordial, because it costs a lot of ancient tablets, but do it through Ancient for those Ancient Ruins, and then do level 4 and as many runs as you can. You'll get a lot more of those baby Kabua chests. The last way that I wanted to discuss with you to get pets is by Morco from Merchantry. So every now and then the Wandering Merchant will show up. You can basically just use a Crow's Elixir whenever he shows up and just teleport to him. But every now and then in the items that he's selling, he will be selling tier 3 through 5 pets. Moving on, we'll be looking at the pet album. So for these pets, there are 7 different tiers, and based on the tiers, you'll get different rewards for these pets. So you can get them by unlocking those individual pets, but also by unlocking your collection, or by building up a collection of those pets for each tier. So through each tier you'll get different bonuses, and the higher the tier, the better the bonus. So as you just saw, you can get a lot of CP from getting tier 7, and then you also get a lot from tier 6, 5, and then lower as you go. As you also saw, I don't have all of the tier 1 pets, and that's just because you have to buy them, but that's not super important. So moving on, I did want to look at the pet skills. So this list of skills, any of your pets can get them. So these skills, you can have up to 4 of them on each pet. So if your pet is tier 4, you can have 4 of these skills. If your pet is tier 5, you'll be able to access one of these special skills that I'm about to show you. So as you can see, for each one of these skills, you have different percentages that you can get. So what you'll always want to be trying to get is that max stat for that skill. So for these special skills as well, you have a minimum and a maximum. Minimum would be 11 for the AP or for the attack, maximum would be 20. So always look at that maximum number and go off of that. That's really what you're looking for. Of these special skills, the ones that are most important are the attack, defense, boss damage, and PvP damage. For the other skills, the ones that are important are the Black Spirit XP, the Field XP, and the Life Skills XP. So looking at this now, there are 3 tabs for your pets. So these are presets. You can have 3 pets out at any time, and only 3. So the way that you can break down your presets is PvP pets, CP pets, and boss damage pets. This is where I'm going to show you this graphic where you can kind of see that these are the skills that you'll want for those different types of pets. So for PvP, you'll be wanting life skill. For boss damage, you can pretty much have anything. And then for CP pets, you'll want field XP, dark energy XP, and from there you can kind of choose, do you want knowledge XP gain, or do you want the inventory weight increase? Those are both pretty good, but in the graphic you can kind of see that it's listed out based on priority for those different pets. Looking into this a little more, you can also see that in this info by tier, so for different tiers you can have different amounts of skills and then different types of skills, and then there's also different maximum levels for those pets. With your pet tier, you also have a increased speed for them recovering items for you, so while you're out in the world and you're farming, these pets will retrieve items. This tab is just going to show you your success rate for exchanging your pets, so every time that you fail, you'll get an increased chance to succeed for the next one. At 100%, you will 100% guarantee. Also, while you are exchanging them, it'll show you at the top that exchange rate. I did just want to say this before I get further into it. Whenever you are exchanging your pets, if you have a lower tier 1, what I recommend doing is marking them or renaming them to whatever pet that they are, just so you know that that's the pet that you're going to be using to go all the way up to tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, whatever it may be. So that way you don't use them in exchanging. Basically, you're just going to want to hold on to them until you can upgrade them. As I had showed before, you can get these baby Kabuas, so if you have lower tier pets, I highly recommend trying to get these baby Kabuas, just because these can be your resources when exchanging. That way, if you don't really have any spares that are low tier and you have a lot of I guess lower knowledge pets that you still need to complete for the collection, you can use these instead of using the pets that you're going to need in the future and then hoping that you get them back, basically. So these are really good for resources early on, and again, it is just from ancient ruins. But normally what I do is I'll have skills that I know that I need, and that's just based on the chart that I showed earlier. Based on those, I'll check all of my pets and I'll see, do any of these have what I'm looking for? If they do have what I'm looking for, I'll normally select those skills to be saved whenever I'm upgrading. But then also, I'm looking at my album and I'm trying to see, is there a pet that I'm needing at a higher grade or a higher tier? So in this case, let's say that none of these pets have the skills that I'm looking for. I can select a random skill and it'll give me brand new skills. But also, let's say that this hawk is the one that I need higher tier. I will also select that pet to be the one that I keep. So with these new skills, you have a chance of getting something like perfect skills that you're needing. And then I'll do this for the higher tiers as well. I'll look, is there anything that I'm needing? Normally what I'll look for is at least 2 or 3 max statted skills that I'm looking for. And again, that's based on the graphic that I had shown earlier, so definitely prioritize those special skills first. They are a little bit harder to get, so if you can get 1 or 2 of the skills that you need as well as that special skill, you'll be good to go. So once I have a pet that pretty much has what I'm looking for, but maybe like 1 or 2 skills are off, I will go to the change skill tab. So what you'll need to change skills are these tier 5 pets. So anytime you want to change a skill, you're going to lose 1 tier 5 pet. So keep that in mind. You have the option to select 1 skill to be changed, or you can change the entire set of skills that your pet has. Normally I will just do the single skill, and that's because the pets that I upgrade, they already have max stat skills that I want, and that's what I'll be focusing on. So in this case, I have exactly what I need for everything. The only thing that's missing is that dark energy. Just a quick tidbit of information: you have a higher chance to get what you're looking for by changing these normal skills, assuming it's only one skill that you need changed, versus changing those special skills. The reason for that is because there's more special skills and there's more variability for what you can get in between those skills. So if I were to put this like math wise, let's say there's like 25 different options that you can get for normal skills, but there's 35 different options that you can get for special skills. So if you have the option, choose to do the normal skills whenever you're changing your skills over the special skills, unless for some reason like you already have like all the normal skills that you need and you just need to change your special skill. In that case, just go ahead and do it, it's fine. The next thing that I wanted to show you was that you can auto exchange your pets as well. So you can designate one of these pets to be changed. If you already have the perfect stats on it, you can just do that. You'll select it. Whenever you exchange it, you'll pretty much just be keeping those stats on there, and then whatever those other pets have, you're not gonna see those skills ever again. It'll just stick to whatever you have there. So make sure that they really are skills that you want, or you can just not select one and it'll kind of pick at random whatever the skill is. Personally, I don't use auto exchange. I like to see what I can get, especially if there's skills that I don't want, because I can just keep re-rolling them for new skills. From here, I do want to go into very briefly how to actually level up your pet. So you can see that the max level is 10. For fresh pets, you'll have them at level 1. Basically, if you level them up from a lower tier, they'll keep that level as long as you keep that pet. But the way to level them up is by putting them into the pets that you're using. So here I just swapped out the pet that I was using previously with the level 1 pet. And then what I'll do is I'll go out into the world and I'll start attacking monsters. So basically it's farming, but your pet will have to retrieve those loot boxes. So they'll be leveling up based on the loot that they get for you. What you can do to level them quickly is just to have one pet, and then that one pet will just keep getting it over and over, or just do 2 pets. But like I had shown before, based on the tier of your pet, it'll affect the speed at which you retrieve these loot boxes. So these higher tier pets, you probably don't want like a tier 1 pet competing with tier 7. That would be cruel. So try to keep that in mind whenever you do it, and if you want to just power level, just go ahead and put like 1 or 2 and it'll go a lot quicker that way. Something else that I will say is also feel free to name your pets based on what kind of pet it is. So if it's like a PvP pet, you can name them PvP, or if it's a life pet, all life. That's pretty much what I do. I'm always looking for these max level pets, and then going through them is kind of a hassle. So especially if they're lower level, just go ahead and name them what you plan for them to be. So if you have like a tier 5 and it has max all life skills, go ahead and name it max life. But I kind of specify, like, I'll put everything in there. So if it's only like max life and it doesn't have the PvP, I'll leave the PvP out, even though I know that I want it to have PvP. So in that way, I'll also know, okay, I still need to change these skills to include that. The last thing I am going to show you is this pet photo album. So if you have a pet that you really like, that you like the image of it, you can always capture a memory of it, and you'll basically be able to dress up your pets with their image. So let's say I like this pet right here. What I'll do is I'll purchase some photo paper from the Pearl shop, and each one of these photo papers costs 100 black pearls. So it's somewhat cheap, but it's just cosmetic, so it's definitely up to you. If you have like a pet that for some reason you need to exchange it, but you really love that pet, just capture its photo, and then you can exchange it with another pet, just so you can maybe get like your album filled. So that's pretty much everything that I had for pets today. As always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. And if you would, please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.